なあ、ティファ。店は休めるか？ずいぶん簡単だな。わかった。デンゼルとマリンにも伝えておいてくれ。それじゃあ、後でな。
If you were to ask me to name the stories that affected me the most, the ones that have kept me constantly thinking about them long after the credits finished rolling, one of the first ones that would come to mind would be Final Fantasy VII. When the game was released and sent players on a quest to save the planet from the tyrannical energy corporation Shinra and the main character's personal nemesis, Sephiroth, it gave people an experience unlike anything they had ever seen before. Told through the eyes of the main character and unreliable narrator Cloud, the game not only pushed, shoved, and outright tore through the envelope of the technical possibilities of role-playing games, it also showed the audience a thoughtful, poignant, and occasionally full-on tragic tale of a group of relatable people going through painful experiences in the midst of a world-ending crisis. Yeah, so I think it's safe to say that a huge part of Final Fantasy's success and its lasting legacy has to do with how much there is to read into thematically in its story. On the surface, of course, you can easily say that it's about the cycle of life and death and how we as humans, and talking lion-dog creatures, define ourselves within that cycle. But underneath the broad strokes, the story unfolds quite naturally, allowing the characters to ask themselves and each other important questions. Questions like, what truly makes our lives worth living? How much control do we have over ourselves and our emotions when we're faced with severely traumatizing events? And how can we move on from such events? So, because of its enormous commercial success and love from the fans, Square went on to expand the story through the compilation of Final Fantasy VII, starting with a sequel, the feature film, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. The movie was marketed heavily upon its fan service for people who already knew the game. It even opens with a title card that dedicates the film to the fans. To those who loved this world and knew friendly company therein, this reunion is for you. Fans would presumably be excited for the opportunity to see their favorite characters kick ass in glorious cutting-edge CGI. The game had a very ambiguous ending. Immediately after the characters witness the planet being saved by the lifestream, the credits roll, and an after-credits scene shows the planet having healed 500 years later. The details of what the characters would do to recover was left unsaid. This movie would be an opportunity to show the more immediate fallout. Fans have been divided in their reactions to the movie. Some give it a soft pass, citing its phenomenal animation and action sequences, while others outright hate it. And while some criticisms are valid, others are, why is Cloud so emo in this movie? And why is he acting like he's responsible for Aerith's death? Cloud has never felt survivor's guilt over the death of anyone else he cared about. In addition to these kind of complaints, Advent Children also, supposedly, fails on both sides of the supposed standard for the accessibility of video game movies. If you're already a fan of the game, it's incomprehensible and only exists to provide the aforementioned fan service. But if you are a fan of the game, it's pointless, as it is a sequel to a game that didn't need a sequel. And it supposedly only exists to serve as part of Square's marketing apparatus to help promote other games in the compilation of Final Fantasy VII Project. However, I'm not satisfied with writing off the film that easily. As one minor point as to why, if I were to accept that the game existed in part to get people to buy Crisis Core or whatever, then, at least for me, epic fail, because I've never played Crisis Core. I don't know. Maybe I will when the remaster comes out on PS4. I first watched Advent Children when I was just a small boy because, at the time, it was the easiest way for me to see more of the side characters I liked from Kingdom Hearts. And at the time, I was still able to see what was at the heart of this movie. A story about a person who needs to forgive himself for his past failures and accept the love from his found family. Final Fantasy VII is in a different place now than it was when the film first came out, and its story is being recontextualized with the new trilogy of remake games. And in part because of that, I think it is worth examining whether or not there actually is any more to Advent Children than the common criticisms that are often thrown at it. So, is the film actually good? In just like my opinion, man, yes, it is. It tells a thoughtful and important story for the character of Cloud, it takes full advantage of the medium of film to tell that story, and there is a lot more to its action and spectacle than just the easy fan service that some people claim it only exists to provide. And I'm going to tell you all about how it does this right about now.
Winter always gets so cold.
The story of Advent Children focuses on Cloud's journey of healing from the events of the game. 2 years after defeating Sephiroth and preventing the destruction of the planet, the world has managed to get back on its feet again. But now, a disease called Geostigma is starting to afflict several people, including an orphan named Denzel, who Cloud and Tifa adopted, as well as our boy Cloud himself. Man's efforts to find a cure have been unsuccessful, and in his view, his terminal condition has shattered his hopes of keeping Zack's legacy alive. At the same time, a new threat has emerged from the literal remains of the former one in the form of 3 men. Kadaj, the Angie one, Laz, the meathead, and Yazoo, the twink. Actually, they're all kind of the twinks. They're the remnants of Sephiroth and have inherited his will to bring about the destruction of the planet. So they'd be trying to geocache that last bit of Genova juice to resurrect Sephiroth and let him bring about that destruction. To draw Cloud into the conflict, Laz and Yazoo kidnap Marlene and Denzel, and the combined pressure of all this sends Cloud into another crisis of identity, one that mirrors his personal crisis in the game. As he's confronted by Marlene, Cloud reflects on the advice given to him by Tifa and Aerith, and resolves to try to do what he can to make up for his past failures and help those around him, finally setting him on a path of self-forgiveness. The general consensus from many fans designates Cloud's behavior in this movie as being emo, and that he wasn't like this in the game. To examine this assertion, let's go more closely into what Cloud is like in the game. If you play through the game without knowing anything about Cloud beforehand, he seems reasonably confident and self-assured, at least on a surface level. But it's important to remember, the real Cloud, as in Cloud minus Zack's memories, isn't actually in most of the game. We only really meet Cloud in the game 2/3 of the way through his story, when Tifa helps Cloud piece together his memories to understand the false identity he created for himself as a trauma response. Something that's explored through the game is the divide between our authentic selves and who we present ourselves to the rest of the world. Every character struggles with this kind of separation between what they say they are and who they truly are. For some characters, this is less literal and more about things like understanding their personal motivations for fighting. We'll be coming back to this a bit later on, but an important point to keep in the back of your mind is that for every character in FF7, this theme of reconciling their authentic selves and their adapted selves involves making peace with how their perceptions of the formative events of their pasts have shaped who they are in the present. Cloud's arc is the most literal interpretation of this, as the trauma he'd suffered had been what pushed him to subconsciously change everything about who he thought he was. Admittedly, a good survival mechanism, given everything he'd been through, but that transformation laid the fragile groundwork for a backslide that began right when he first woke up in Aerith's church. From then on, the defensive walls of his new persona began slowly crumbling, as his involvement in the mission to save the world from Sephiroth and Shinra, along with his friendships with his comrades, grew stronger. Once Tifa helps him piece together his true memories, his acceptance of needing to live as himself allows him to continue fighting. He defeats Hojo and Sephiroth, but he still has a ton of healing to do. Cloud had developed this other person to cope with his trauma. But he doesn't suddenly recover from his trauma just because he helped save the world. He lost his defense mechanism, but that doesn't mean everything he developed that defense mechanism for has suddenly gone away. In fact, it makes perfect sense that he would feel his regret over his past failures, and his fear of failing again in the future, even more severely now. This is all a bit challenging to describe, as Cloud's whole character arc is incredibly grand in scope, and maybe that's part of why I'm being a bit repetitive here, but it all comes together when you play it. Not everything is fine after the world is saved, and healing is not a linear process. In fact, I would say we need more stories like Advent Children, stories that actually show the lasting emotional consequences of events as impactful as the events of FF7. I think that's why the film starts with the ending of the game, the image of the planet having fully healed 500 years later, before going back to the present to show what the people have done to heal. The planet has centuries, even millennia, to go on thriving, but people don't live centuries in the future. They live and die in the here and now. My favorite visual detail related to his appearance in the movie is his motorcycle, which carries 6 medium-sized swords that can all fuse together into one big sword. On a surface level, it looks cool.
That's cool.
But at the start of the movie, there hasn't been a need for soldiers for 2 years, and Cloud has been working as a delivery boy. But the trauma of the crisis from 2 years ago hasn't gone away, making him feel as though we gotta have his weapons on standby at all times. but when he actually is needed,
Not interested. I have to talk to Rufus. I'm gonna go see Shinra and get a few answers.
what he doesn't see in himself right now, but what everyone around him does, is the worth he still has to the world, not even in spite of his past failures, but because of them. This whole middle section of the movie very much mirrors the end of Disc 1 in the game. In both cases, Cloud wakes up in bed after collapsing from an affliction connected to his inner demons, and then his friend implores him to understand that everyone feels the kind of pain that he does. He then reluctantly ventures into the Forgotten City to face that pain head on to... disastrous results.
I knew I'd be no help.
This time though, Tifa, who had once been willing to ignore what she knew for herself was true, now confronts Cloud directly.
I know. Even if you find the kids, you might not be able to help them. Maybe something will happen that can never unhappen. That scares you, doesn't it? But you need to think about now, really take it in.
What makes her words to Cloud ring so true and necessary is that they reveal how much she really knows about Cloud, but rarely says. She empathizes with him, but like Barrett in the game's counterpart scene, is selective in when to be openly sympathetic. But it is with Tifa's words, along with Aerith's,
Isn't it time you did the forgiving?
that help Cloud realize that the right choice, now, is to do what he can to forgive himself.
You came for me. That's all that matters.
We can either continue to let pain overwhelm us, or we can accept our past mistakes and do what we can today to help the people we care about.
Marlene, let's go.
On the other side of this conflict are the remnants, with Kadaj at the front and center. Kadaj resigns himself to only existing for the sake of Sephiroth, not even desiring to live as his own person. He doesn't consider self-actualization, and he rejects the world and humanity's capacity for growth. He instead believes that humanity is doomed to repeat a cycle of destruction.
As long as you exist, the nightmares will come again and again.
What he doesn't realize about himself, though, is that through all of his actions, he is still making a choice that breaks from that cycle. He might have, as he puts it, inherited Genova's will to destroy the planet, and he might sense part of Sephiroth inside him, but he's still capable of judging others.
You wreck everything you've ever made. Then you start over. Like it'll be any different the next time.
He decides what he should do next to achieve his goals,
We need a word with brother.
and he harbors his own unique hatred of Cloud.
He's what you call a black sheep.
His relationship to Cloud is a dark inverse of Cloud's previous relationship with Sephiroth, and this is reflected in how they interact with others and how they inhabit the places they're in. As Emily Palmieri points out in her 3-part essay, Advent Children, What's Beneath the Fan Service, Kadaj surrounds himself with children who all obey his will, hostages who ultimately betray him, and dead alien remains. Despite all his talk about family, Kadaj wants to be Mother's only child, and is essentially always alone with only himself for friendly company. Even when he's with Laz and Yazoo, the three of them comprise the remnants of one person. For most of the film, Kadaj is mostly a pitiable figure who makes rather unpleasant sounds. But right as he's about to die, and he hears the voice of Aerith, something changes within him.
Mother.
He doesn't say anything more than that, but I think he, and we the audience, can catch a glimpse into the person he could have been, as he realizes that there's more to the world he's leaving than the pain he knew. As he returns to the life stream from whence he came, I find myself feeling genuinely sorry for him, but still glad that he gets to experience a moment of the peace that Cloud had been fighting for. Yazoo and Laz, though, they can get fucked. So, I want this analysis to be balanced, and I don't want to give the impression that I think Advent Children is a flawless film, because that would be dishonest. The main criticism I suppose I have with the film is its English translation. It's no secret that the series has had its fair share of rough translations and localizations, and FF7 is a pretty egregious offender. If you wish to understand just how incredibly important language itself is in conveying intended meaning, and how difficult it is to retain that exact meaning from language to language, I'd highly recommend you watch Tim Rogers' series, Let's Mosey, a slow translation of Final Fantasy VII. For example, this scene of Cloud and Tifa talking, I didn't fully appreciate it as much as I do now until I watched Rogers' translation of its poetic predecessor in the game. His translation makes Barrett, who's speaking to Cloud in this scene, much more sensitive and empathetic to what Cloud is feeling. The entire video series is an incredible project that taught me that there can really be no perfect translation from one language to another, since every language is filled with its own nuances, colloquialisms, and cultural history. So instead, the best way to translate a story, especially one as intricate and poetic as Final Fantasy VII, is through a slow, personal process that draws upon one's own lived experience and emotions. Like, I'm not gonna give too much away, but this whole video series, it honestly brings on the waterworks at the end, trust me. Anyway, in the absence of fluency in Japanese, I instead rely upon its official English translation, as well as unofficial translations that I found online and a couple insights from my sister who knows Japanese. My conjecture, based on these oh-so-prestigious sources, is that Advent Children's English dub isn't a very high point for localization, and that some of the criticisms that the people have about the film's storytelling are more closely tied to dialogue choices and line delivery from the English voice actors than about the story itself. Let's take this line as one example.
Dilly dally shilly shally.
Yes, that's right, we're doing this. So in the original Japanese, Tifa says,
Zuru 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 zuru.
which is an onomatopoeia that, in addition to being the sound of slurping noodles, also represents the sound of something being dragged, something continuing without intention. Apparently in Japanese, onomatopoeias are used much differently than they are here in English, and some are used to describe feelings or actions instead of just sounds. So here, Tifa uses this
Zuru 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 zuru.
to describe Cloud dragging his guilt around, how his situation is continuing as it is even though he wants it to change. Since English doesn't use onomatopoeias the same way, then translating this would mean losing the very specific nuances of the way Tifa described Cloud's attitude. So the translators needed to come up with a short little phrase for Tifa to say to implore Cloud to stop drifting through his life. And that, I guess, is how you arrive at...
Dilly dally shilly shally.
It's cute, in my opinion, and honestly, I think it's in keeping with some of the goofy lines of the game, but yeah, it's not exactly poetry. This here line isn't the only example of very specific emotions being conveyed through word choice and phrasing being lost in translation, but it is an obvious one, and an easy example to use given its mimetic legacy among viewers. But the effects of this translation are minimized by Advent Children's choice to not rely all that much on dialogue anyway. I know that's a weird thing to say right after spending that much time scrutinizing one whole entire line, but for realsies, for a film that's often lambasted for being exposition heavy, the film really doesn't have all that much, honestly. There's only a couple interactions where the primary goal is to explain what's going on, and even then, the dialogue itself is actually very minimalist and efficient, considering the scope of what the characters are talking about. So, since I'm quite fond of how scenes in Advent Children echo similar ones in the game, and since the world of Final Fantasy VII so often blurs the lines between the physical and the metaphysical anyways, I've grown to develop my own insights into characters' dialogue to imbue them with deeper meaning. So, instead of relying heavily upon the spoken word, now I approach Advent Children more as a silent film, in which other filmmaking tools like story structure, scene location, shot composition, and music help you, the viewer, in figuring out how you feel about what's going on, while the dialogue itself becomes incidental. And that, I'd say, is a good enough transition to raving about FF7 relies a lot upon the player having a very vivid imagination. You see low poly characters float around the frame as text boxes pop up, and your mind fills in the blanks to create the full scene. It's a lot like theater in a way. In a play or musical, you see actors, some backdrops and maybe some props, hear an orchestra, and the rest is left to
Your imagination.
relying upon the audience to have and use imagination is part of the language of a game like FF7. Now, I was talking about the literal languages of Japanese and English a minute ago, but when I say language here, I'm talking about the tools that a film or game, or really any story, uses to communicate what it's saying to the audience. Advent Children, as a film, has to change that language from the game and instead fill all those aforementioned blanks from the game with its own ideas. But the influence of the game's more abstract storytelling style still seems to have impacted some of the film's direction and thematic content.
Inside our bodies is a current, like the life stream. That current is what fights off any malevolent intruders.
Tetsuya Nomura always strikes me as a guy who really loves analog worlds. That is, worlds where the elements of the physical and the spiritual are so often intersecting and having direct causal effects on one another. That's how you end up with stories like Kingdom Hearts, where Sora is the person best suited to wield the mystical Keyblade because he just feels real good about his friends.
I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
Why does this rule so damn hard? Well, for one, it means that you can always be moving things along without having to worry as much about logistics, since raw emotions are so often the priority. Advent Children embraces this fully, and as a result, action set pieces always pack in a whole lot of story and good charactership.
It's only been a couple years, but already that feeling is gone. But Cloud, I think he's found it again.
Here's my favorite example of this. So, Cloud, who had previously longed to be forgiven, faces up at Sephiroth, who demands that Cloud beg for forgiveness before leveling the Shinra building, a symbol of everything that Cloud had grown to hate about himself, pushing Cloud to his physical breaking point. You may have noticed that throughout this video I've been showing shots and moments from the game FMVs and the movie that kinda mirror one another, and there's a reason for that. Aside from the fact that I'm just a sucker for this shit, this is also part of the movie's language as well. Presenting variations on the same shots or scenes, but in completely new contexts, is part of how they can gain more and more meaning. This convo between Kadaj and Rufus Shinra is sort of the Rosetta Stone for understanding this idea, with their talk about the cycle of life and history repeating itself, and how we sometimes revisit the same conflicts. Facing completely new problems in life sometimes involves learning or remembering the same lessons we've learned previously, and facing problems similar to the ones we already have sometimes involves learning completely new lessons.
The life stream courses through our world, ever flowing between the edge of life and death. If that cycle is the very truth of life, then history too will inevitably repeat itself.
Nomura also seems like a guy who has a lot of reverence for these characters. He talks about Cloud with such bemused, distant observation, as though he himself is always finding new insights in Cloud as a character. The way he describes how weak Cloud is in comparison to other modern movie heroes makes for fascinating pull quotes when you compare them to how he and his team film Cloud as a godlike figure, performing the impossible. But, of course, the reason for both of these parts of how the characters are presented comes back to one simple truth: that no one is ever truly alone. As all of Cloud's friends and family try to help him understand in one way or another, there isn't anyone who doesn't ever feel hopeless or overwhelmed by the problems of the world. Problems both in and out of our control. Within this theme, both the people that Cloud cared about, Zack and Aerith, and the people he needs to fight against, Kadaj and Sephiroth, represent the pull of regression that is present inside all of us. For Cloud, they represent both the best and worst parts of himself. What he's afraid he is,
an empty puppet.
What he regrets he can never be,
You never made soldier.
and what he can be.
I am your living legacy.
There is something terrifying about the way that the relationships in our lives shape us. We give a part of ourselves to someone else and take a part of them with us in turn. And what if that part of us that we gave up is what we feel we need to go on living?
So what if it looks hopeless? If it were me, I still wouldn't give up.
Because if we can accept the truth that everyone has to face problems like this sometimes, then what we all gotta do is help the people we care about. Each and every day. Because no one is ever truly alone. Did you know that Cloud smiling is what solidified for Nobuo Uematsu that this movie would be something special.
これだと思って、クラウド笑うんだって。こっからちょっとクラウドだってセブンを遊んだことある人たちってクラウドが笑顔を見せるっていうのってあんまりピンとこないですね。僕もそうでしたし、いやこの映画ではクラウドが笑うんだなと思って、これはいけんじゃない？
Yep, alright, good. That's enough heavy existential stuff, I think. Now let's take a second to talk about the music. This is, hands down, one of the most ambitious and unique soundtracks I've ever heard in a motion picture. The music goes in so many different directions stylistically, and somehow it all works. You've got heavy metal action tracks, a pastoral hymn, lo-fi electronic beats to chill out a monologue to, and fully symphonic cues. They sometimes even change musical styles in the middle of the same scene. Like, listen to this. Why? Because it sounds awesome. You can practically feel the palpable giddiness the composers and arrangers must have had the chance to do everything they could musically. I was 13 when I first watched Advent Children. I forget if a friend of mine had brought his own copy of the DVD over to my house or if we'd rented the DVD from Blockbuster. But I suppose it doesn't matter. We watched it, I loved it, and then we watched it several more times. I remember being overjoyed when I got my own copy of the DVD, which I still have. In retrospect, I suppose it's a relief that I developed such a fondness for the film at such a young age before I really learned what the internet was. I admit that in high school I became rather irony poisoned and let my opinions of art and media be dictated by loud men twice my age yelling here on YouTube about why the movies you like are bad, actually. But nowadays most of my favorite movies are the ones that those kinds of people usually hate the most. And thankfully, Advent Children is well out of the radar of most of those types of critics. So it wasn't until I was old enough to grow out of that horrible phase that I learned that this movie had become something of a black sheep among Final Fantasy fans. Pun intended.
He's what you call a black sheep.
But I still loved it, and revisiting it and making this video has only made me love it more. Part of the reason why I have so much respect for the Final Fantasy VII compilation project is that it's one of the few series to explore as many possibilities in storytelling as it has. It's easy to say that all of the different Final Fantasy VII games and spin-offs like Advent Children, Crisis Core, On the Way to a Smile, Dirge of Cerberus, Last Order, Before Crisis, and the remake project are just cash grabs with nothing to say, but I really think that that's an easy way out to avoid giving any of them, or any of the other unusual or challenging stories that are out there, a fair chance. I mean, isn't it impressive that the world of Final Fantasy VII has spanned across this many different mediums? I think it is. I think what's most important to me when approaching a movie as strange as this one is figuring out how to meet it on its own terms. Studying things like its structure, its dialogue choices, and color palette, and really asking, what is this saying? What is it trying to accomplish? Most of what I said I appreciate about Advent Children in this video are all things I didn't pick up on the first time I saw the film, or even the 5th, or the 10th time. I think I'm at number 16 or 17 now. And yeah, it probably sounds insane to place the Final Fantasy movie up on the shelf alongside all the other still holds up on the 100th viewing movies, but I think there's all the more reason to give recognition when I find a film like that, when it's still offering new ways to appreciate it upon each revisit. And at the most basic, raw level, the reason why I've even watched the film that many times is because of just how it makes me personally feel. I throw this movie on when I'm sad or when I've had a rough day, because every time, without fail, once the credits are rolling, I'm always in a good mood at the end. I'm a little torn between appreciating the rarity of this movie as a sort of diamond in the rough and wishing that there were 500 more movies like it. Not just because I want more of that thing I like, though that's certainly part of it, but more because of the filmmakers for this one movie managed to pack as much creativity as I see on display here in just the 2 hours we got. Imagine how much more of it there must be amongst them and other filmmakers. I want them to rock out too. It's a little embarrassing that this goofy little movie has brought me this much happiness, but I just accept it now. It's been with me for almost half my life now, and that fraction will only continue to increase as I get older. And when I think about that, all I really gotta say is, hell yeah. Because this film is always a reminder to me that, as I said earlier, no one is ever truly alone. Thank you very much for watching. This video was a huge project that I'd been wanting to make to share my appreciation for this film, and I hope that that appreciation was clear in the final product. I want to give a huge shout out to Suits of Steel, the band whose music I used in the flow edits. They're pretty rad, and you can find their music on Apple Music and Spotify, and right here on YouTube.com. They got some pretty sweet music videos on their channel, the link to which you can find in the description. You'll also find links to the other sources and works that I used in the writing and editing process, all of which were extremely helpful. Thanks again so much for watching. Cheers, y'all.